Hi guys, my name is Ray Prakash and it is live running Unacademy Plus. So today's discussion topic is CAT 2021, its detailed strategy and discussion. Okay, so which topics are important in quant, how to prepare for LRDI, which topics are important, how to improve your verbal. Okay, so all that we'll be seeing in today's class. Okay, syllabus and strategy. Okay, so how to go about this CAT 2021 when there are around 7.5 months left. Okay, so see, understand this guys. So basically, in if we compare from the last year CAT, so we have in this year CAT we have in syllabus, or we have the timings. It is reduced to in verbal. It is actually 40 minutes. Okay, so verbal is 40 minutes, quant is 40 minutes, and LRDI is 40 minutes. So actually the order also the order, right? So let me write the order in which the paper appears. So first in your screen there will be verbal paper of 40 minutes, then we'll have quant of then we'll have LRDI of 40 minutes, and then we'll have quant of 40 minutes. Okay, so this is a total exam of 2 hours, right? So this order is actually quite important because the many people kind of the verb in this CAT 2020 especially, the verbal was on bit tougher side, LRDA was on tougher side, and quant was moderate. So what people did in verbal and LRDA, there was so much fatigue, and they actually lost the track in verbal and LRDA that they couldn't make use of the quant paper also. It was moderate, right? It's quite doable actually, quant paper. So that's why you have that mental preparation, or that mental strategy should be there. Yes, that you have to face verbal. Verbal is never going to be easy. The RC which you are getting never going to be a like fairy tale. Okay, so those will be like with some RC on sociology, some on maybe on mythology, maybe some philosophical like that, right? Okay, so we can have different RCs. Okay, so that this verbal paper is never going to be easy. After your verbal paper gets finished, you'll get LRDA now, and LRDA is actually again you're never going to get some easy sets here. Okay, so prepare for around 5 to 6 good tough sets, and you have to pick around 2 to 3 sets to get your desired score of 99 plus. Okay, and then comes quant. So in this basically quant is quite doable, and because it contains all single questions and quite expected focuses on arithmetic, algebra, and geometry. So this is not as per completely out of the box, right? So quant is a thing which can be more of planned of than verbal and LRDI. Okay, so let's see this guys. Okay, let's see this. Okay, so now in this CAT paper, okay, so basically in this CAT 2021, if the pattern doesn't change, so we expect the same thing. Okay, so well, why start from quant? So in this 40 minutes paper of quant, okay, now you in this paper, the most important, if you see that, you have to divide this syllabus into A and B parts here. Okay, your A part will be comprising arithmetic, then geometry, and then algebra. Okay, and then your B part should be numbers and modern maths, that is permutation, combination, probability, and all. Okay, so this is modern maths, PNC, probability, numbers, number system, arithmetic like percentage, profit loss, time and distance ratio, time and work. Okay, all these topics, averages, SICI. Geometry module means whole geometry, mensuration, trigonometry, okay, coordinate geometry, everything. And then algebra means all these polynomials, linear equation, logarithms, indices, surds, function graphs, sequence series, all this comes under algebra. Okay, so this, why I told to divide your syllabus into 2 parts here, because this part A is of utmost importance in CAT, and it is actually comprising of around 80% to 90% of CAT paper these days. Not sure that it will carry on every year, but yeah, seeing the recent pattern of last 4-5 years, arithmetic, geometry, and algebra is actually 80% to 90% of the whole paper, and these two together are around 10% to 20%. Okay, so in the last, especially if I talk about CAT 17 onwards, okay, so CAT 17 onwards, that's the recent trend we are seeing in CAT, right? But it can never always happen, because in CAT, if you remember in CAT 15, 16, So in CAT 2015 and 2016, there were almost 7 to 8 questions in the paper, in a single paper. We can show from number system, okay, and their concepts, right? So that's very important. There's nothing actually you can leave, but yeah, algebra combined with numbers, okay, or PNC questions combined with numbers, or PNC questions combined with algebra. So all these topics are mixed up, right? But basically, once you're preparing, so this is part A of your syllabus, which you want to have a complete command, okay, and a thorough study, especially for CAT, okay. And part B you can actually do as in second phase, where you can see these numbers and modern maths, not so very important for CAT, but yes, these are very important for other exams like NMAT, SNAP and all, okay. So these are very important. So like NMAT, SNAP, okay, IFT, they'll ask a lot of questions in these papers, okay, but not so important for CAT these days, right? Again, the pattern may change every year. Pattern may change this year also. It could change next year also, right? We don't know. But yes, this is a good observation that we should focus on these three actually in quant. Okay, so just start off with quant. You can have some good coaching material in the market. Any good institute coaching material along with any good mocks will do it. Okay, and especially at Unacademy we have a lot of free question banks. Okay, so there's a question bank of more than 10,000 plus questions. So those are absolutely free for everyone. You can just download the Unacademy app and go through all that question bank and solve all those questions, prepare your own tests, okay. So you can do all those with in quant, okay. Now coming to LRDI, so most important session will be LRDI, right? So coming to LRDI, how are we going to prepare about LRDI here? So in LRDI actually, again, so if you see the recent pattern, there's no good book in LRDI, okay. So in LRDI, if you want to study and see the pattern here, okay, so if you see LRDI is in the last few years, it has completely changed the pattern, and the questions are more basically from the, I should say they are from quant based puzzles. So you can find many quant based puzzles, okay. Then you can find many Venn diagram questions. Then in every question you'll find maxima minima sets, okay. Means you have to maximize, you have to minimize words like at least, word like at most, you have to be comfortable with quant based puzzles, Venn diagram, maxima minima. Then questions, previously the questions were from cubes, right? So cubes are not that important, so let me write all the important part here, okay. So again, in LRDI, in A part, you want to prepare all these quant based puzzles, should be very good. Solve lots and lots of quant based puzzles. Venn diagrams, solve a lot of Venn diagram sets, including 3 parameters, 4 parameters, 5 parameters, okay. Maxima minima, so a lot of maxima minima sets, including those words like at least, at most. Get comfortable with those topics. After maxima minima, you can now jump to games and tournaments. So again, a very important, very logical chapter. Questions are regularly from this, okay. Continuously the questions are asked from this games and tournaments. It's a very open-ended chapter, right? You can have questions from any game. It could be cricket, it could be hockey, it could be rugby, it could be IPL is going on, so you can form a set on IPL. So you just need to solve a lot of sets, right? You just solve 20-30 sets here, okay, from different sources, and especially from previous year mocks. So for LRDI, the previous year mocks are the best source, okay. So you can follow the previous year mocks. You'll find a lot of links on Google and all, okay. So there's a best source to prefer for LRDI, okay. And especially the pack questions from CAT 17 to CAT 20. So CAT 17 to CAT 20, I think you'll be finding more than 50 plus sets here to give a good idea and good practice actually. Or if you see the previous CAT 4 years question paper are available. So in fact in CAT 17 there were 2 slots. So per slot 18 to 2, 16 LRDI sets. CAT 18 again 16 plus 16 32. CAT 19 again 32 plus 16 48. And CAT 20 also we have around 6 plus 6 plus 6 12. So around we have got 60 sets around, okay. So you can just solve those 60 sets, and then all the previous year mocks. These are good sources for preparation for again LRDI, okay. So again in LRDI, so what is the recent pattern is, so in the recent pattern this is very I'll put in this A part, quant based puzzle, Venn diagram, maxima games and tournament. Then further you can actually go to some maxima minima based DI, okay. So DI, in the sense, you can include some bar charts, or you can include some pie charts in this. Okay. Then you can also focus on those matrix based puzzles. Matrix based puzzle means like there will be multiple parameters, 3 or 4 parameters, or maybe 5 parameters, right? So matrix based puzzles you can focus off in the first part, right? These are the things you can actually focus in LRDI a lot more, okay, initially. And then of course, right, all those miscellaneous sets kind of, which are they'll put maybe use of few numbers, maybe use of few concepts of distribution, all those things, right? Okay. In especially in B part, so in this should be very good command actually. So very good command. Okay. Now what were previously asked and are asked not quite frequently, but yeah, not frequently, but yes, but we have to study, right? We never know, we cannot get a set. So these are roots and networks. Okay. Binary logic. Cubes and cuboids. Okay, these are the important things they can actually ask, but now not so important seeing the last 3 to 4 years of CAT pattern. Okay, so not frequently asked, but yes, we should solve few sets to get the clear idea about these things actually. Okay, so very important here. Fine. Okay, so once just try in LRDI, guys, it's very important that you solve around at least 250 LRDI sets. Okay, so just try to solve at least 250 LRDI sets in this LRDI. So once you solve 250 plus LRDI sets, you'll have a very good command over, or your mind will start thinking, right? So it's because we don't see many solved examples of LRDI sets, so our mind is not opened up actually. Okay, so we're not able to think when you get a new set. So give your mind a variety. Okay, so give your mind lots of variety. Solve around 250 plus LRDI sets on quant based puzzles, on Venn diagram, maths and minima, games tournaments. Okay, DI, bar charts, pie charts. Okay, in this you can also include some reasoning based DI also you can include here. That's a part of, again, maths and minima only. Okay, so reasoning based you can include DI. Okay, then you can include some matrix based puzzles, miscellaneous sets, randomly sets which you see. Then roots and networks, binary logic, cubes, keywords. So all these topics, once you prepare all just these sets, right? And in miscellaneous, basically, we can always, in miscellaneous, you ask me what is miscellaneous. It could be linear arrangement, it could be circular arrangement. Okay, it could be selection based sets, right? So all these things will come in miscellaneous also. Okay, so that's how you want to go about the preparation in LRDA. Okay, so just try to solve around 250 plus LRDA sets, revise these sets to gain all the concepts, and once you gain all these concepts, then you start feeling a bit confident in LRDA. Okay, I can think in LRDA, I am able to think when I get a new puzzle. Otherwise, if you just solve 10-20 sets and look for the mocks, you won't be able to solve the set because your mind has not opened up. Okay, you have not seen that different varieties of puzzles. So your mind will not start thinking in the correct way. So you need to give your mind a lot of solved examples, a lot of different varieties of sets. Okay, so that your mind gets opened up. Okay, so that's about you should go in LRD. The best source are previous year mocks, and CAT 17 to 20 paper will be a good source. Okay, also you can for practices also you can include a bit of crypt arithmetic also in LRD. I should add here. Okay, so they have asked few sets on crypt arithmetic, and this becomes important. They have asked couple of sets in ZAT also previously. ZAT sets, CAT sets, these are also been asked here. Okay, so you can include some crypt arithmetic also in LRDI. Okay, so you can solve all these sets. Okay, fine. Now coming to verbal here, right? So once they come to verbal now, okay. So basically, again, you have time right now. Okay, guys. So you have time of around 7 months. Okay. And for the people who are weak at verbal right now, see, so problem at verbal is actually the problem remains same. Okay, even if people are repeaters or freshers, the many problem is if they attempt 20 questions in verbal, around 12 to 15 are wrong, and they don't know why they are wrong actually, right? So 12 to 15 questions are wrong out of 20. That's a big problem, right? That means you can't afford this is main exam. So in verbal, how to improve verbal, right? See, there are two ways to improve verbal, very important, right? One is immediate analysis of whatever sectionals you give, immediate analysis of the sectionals you give, sectionals or mocks you give, okay? And second thing is you try to get from this, okay, try to read novels, okay? Now why these two things are very important, I'll tell you. First thing is, what do you mean by immediate analysis of sectionals and mocks? It basically means that once you're seeing any mock here, okay, or giving any sectional, so let's say you attempted a sectional of 24 questions in verbal, and let's say you got 15 as wrong and 9 as correct, for example, okay? Now what does it actually means? That means you solved those 15 questions and you think those 15 questions are right, but those 15 questions are actually wrong. There is some kind of gap between your mind and examiner's mind, okay? So there's some kind of bad gap between your mind and examiner's mind, okay? You need to fill that gap actually. You need to fill that gap, that how that gap will be actually minimized, okay? You can reduce the gap, okay? So by analysis, you can just think that, okay, so immediate means just after the mock if you analyze, or just after the sectional if you analyze as soon as possible. So you see that, okay, my thinking behind marking this question was some XYZ, okay, but examiner is thinking some ABC. So now try to go into this examiner's mind or the question setter's mind, okay, that why question setter does want to think like that, okay? And once you analyze every question, so if you make 15 questions wrong, if you analyze those 15 questions, and in 20 sectionals, if you analyze, let's say 15 into 20, that is 300 questions, wrong questions you marked, but you analyzed, okay, so definitely that gap between your mind and examiner's mind will be, those thinking will actually reduce, okay? So there's a huge gap right now, because this is a problem. If you're marking 9 correct and 15 wrong, that's a big problem. You are thinking in a different way, and examiner thinking in a different way, right? You need to think in that way of examiner, or try to reach as close as possible. You can only do it by watching video solutions of the mocks or the sectionals, or the reading the text solutions, trying to analyze and trying to erase your thinking from the mind, and trying to inculcate what examiner is thinking at that moment, okay? Second thing is read novels. Again, why novels reading is very important, okay? I'll tell you. Because see, one thing is, and it could be right, if of your interest. Your interest means your interest could be, it could be fiction, it could be mythology, it could be any romantic novels, it could be any autobiography, okay? For example, I love to read autobiography, okay? Means I've read for Rahul Dravid, for Yuvraj Singh, for Sachin Tendulkar, Wings of Fire by APJ Kalam, okay, for Sania Mirza. So all these I just love to read, right? So it basically what is your interest? It could be fiction, it could be mythology, any, right? So now if you try to read in some next 2-3 months, what will happen actually? So in some next 2-3 months, if you try to read some, let's say at least 15 to 20 novels, okay, or maybe in next 2-3-4 months I can put here. So what that will do actually, so when you put that in those 15 to 20 novels, once you're trying to read actually, okay, that means you are reading around to maybe 2 lakh to 3 lakh words, okay? That will give you a huge comfort in the verbal. Otherwise, what we do in 1 week, if I ask many guys, so maybe they have, in last 1 week they have written maybe 10 RCs. 10 RCs means hardly 2,000 to 3,000 words, okay? So in last 1 week you have read 2,000 3,000 words, and you got bored actually because of RCs are very boring, right? So I want you to become comfortable in reading novels actually, okay? So if you read novels of your genre, that means when you finish 10, 15, 20 novels, you have read 2 lakh, 3 lakh words. So from thousands you're jumping to lakhs. So when you read lakhs of words, okay, that means you get some kind of sense, okay, that what this comfortness, or what this line or this para is trying to tell me, right? That sense you get. For example, if your comfort language is Hindi, okay, so I don't think that if there are 24 questions in Hindi, so I don't think that in Hindi you will do 15 questions wrong and 9 correct. No, because in Hindi you get that sense, right? You get that essence actually very quickly. That's how, right? That same is English, because Hindi is a language, English is also a language. So you need to read a lot English, right? Read a lot, try to listen maybe English songs, watch few English movies also. Take it's your way, but just be comfortable with English. So once you are comfortable with English, you can actually do a world of good in English actually. Okay. So just try to in this next 2 3, because this is a time actually, right? In when last 3 months are left, August onwards, I cannot tell you to study novels, because at that time only reading mocks, only doing giving mocks, analyzing and improving is the process, right? But right now you can actually add a volume of content, a volume of knowledge, a volume of lot of words. You can lakhs of words you can add to your add to yourself. Okay, by reading lots of novels, right? So that's why reading novels is again a very suggested and very important, right? So I think these two things, if you do in verbal, it will do your confidence a world of good, and you will be feeling very light, very comfortable, very much more logical in verbal. Okay, so it sound very logical. So because if some 15 wrong and 9 correct, that means you're not sounding logical in verbal, right? So sounding logical in verbal is very important, right? So you need to think in a logical, incorrect way, try to get that essence quickly. So just try to read a lot, right? So I think if you do these things, so this will take care of your next 7 months of strategy. Okay, so this is more of what you need to focus on in verbal, in what you need to focus in LRDI, what you need to focus in quant. Okay, and always, so basically most of you are preparing, if you're preparing from free sources, so do use from Unacademy app. We have made a huge question bank of around 10,000 plus questions, and all are very good high quality questions. You can give those. Read a lot of books in quant. You can buy some go for quantum cat book or some good coaching material. In LRDI, previous year mocks you can focus on, and in verbal you can again focus on previous year mocks, previous year cat papers, right? So again, if you ask me source for verbal, previous year cat papers are the best source to prepare. Okay, because cat and zat papers, if you look for previous year, you'll find at least 200 plus good quality RCs. Okay, they are really good quality RC for practice, right? So do practice all these things, guys. Okay, and I'll keep on guiding. You can just follow me on Unacademy. My name is Ravi Prakash. Okay, and you can always message me on Academy in case of any issue. Okay, so I hope you follow this, and again we'll be doing some more strategy sessions of how to go ahead in each topic. Okay, so hope you like this session, guys. Okay, thank you.